And given that this government is adding about $10 million to our national debt every single hour, I think we can say that while talk is cheap, it's very expensive when a Liberal finance minister does it.
The deficit is a massive concern. We thought, Trudeau didn't know how to count. This deficit is honestly, it's eye-watering how big it is. And I think that it's been a bit of smoke and mirrors while the Prime Minister tries to convince Canadians that he's going to separate the budget operations versus capital. And I don't think that that's a very meaningful exercise, because at the end of the day, we're borrowing almost $80 billion this year, and they project that to go down a little bit. But after 5 years of this plan, it means our debt servicing, like what it costs us to pay back the debt, will be more than we collect in GST. It's a staggering number. It's just, that's all money that could be going to, programs that Canadians need. But no, we're not doing that. We're borrowing all this money, and I'm telling you, it has to get paid back eventually, and it's going to be it's going to be a couple generations before we start paying this back. And honestly, they've just they had this fiscal anchor they were using, that the deficit would be never more than 1% of GDP. And well, now it's 2% of GDP, but that's the new fiscal anchor. They talked about debt being, debt to GDP. Well, they just, they decided that's not the number we want to use anymore. We want to use this deficit to GDP number because it looks smaller. I genuinely have concerns about describing, well, I don't know what all they've put in the budget that's going to be described as capital spending, but I'm just a small town mayor at heart. But I'll tell you right now, a pickup truck for the Public Works Department, it's in the capital budget, but I guarantee it's not a capital asset. It immediately starts depreciating. And so, whether you think we need submarines or not, I think it's important for us to be investing in our military. But I don't know how you could call a submarine an asset. As soon as you put in that salt water, it's starting to rust. It's not an asset. So I have a lot of concerns about this. And I can get into more specifics about the housing policy specifically. There's nothing new in there about housing policy. And there's nothing new about what we've been calling for, what the industry's been calling for, what housing experts have been calling for, and that is to reduce the cost and burden of government on housing. What they've done is just added more bureaucracy and more government burden to the portfolio, and they've done nothing. They promised they were going to get development charges cut in half. In the GTA in particular, they're outrageously high. There's nothing in this budget about that. And so, while the cost of government continues to go up on new homes, here we are. We're not going to get many more homes built, because only waiving the GST for first-time home buyers doesn't represent enough of the market, of the new home market, to really kickstart building again.
We're calling for an affordable budget, for an affordable life, after Liberals doubled the cost of housing and doubled the lineups at our food banks.